Right now, I welcome in one of those national champs from the University of Alabama, Kenyan Drake. How are you, my friend? Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good, absolutely. And looking forward to talking a little Alabama football with you. But, I want to ask you about your Twitter account for a couple of minutes, man. You're one of those guys that really enjoys having fun on Twitter. Have I read you correctly there?
Yeah, of course. I always love to, have a social media presence. I feel like, to have the platform to impact a mass amount of people, from through 140 characters or less. I feel like that's a great tool to use.
No doubt. And let me get some preparation of what's going on right now as you prepare for the upcoming NFL draft, April the 28th.
Yeah, we just had our pro day. I wasn't able to participate in it, but I plan on participating in the later pro days on the 30th of March. And with that being said, before then, we had the combine. I was down at IMG in Bradenton, Florida, training doing combine-specific games, and they got me very prepared for the combine, and I feel like I did well. And I'm just looking forward to team visits and for teams to come down and work me out individually.
I got you. So now you're going to be going through another pro day. Where's that going to be at on March the 30th?
It's going to be the same place in Tuscaloosa at the complex.
Okay. So it's a separate pro day that you're going to be participating in and going to be looking forward. What teams are you hearing from as far as setting up meetings and individual workouts?
I mean, several teams. I can't name any specifically, but I have, I think about like 5 visits I have set up at the moment, and I have other teams that are coming down to work me out individually, and I've talked to several others throughout the process of, going through the combine and pro day and Senior Bowl and all that, formally and informally. So I've had a lot of interest, and I'm just looking forward to this next month before the draft.
Kenyan, what was so special about this football team in Tuscaloosa that allowed you guys to accomplish the success and win the national title, the SEC championship as well? What was so special about this team?
It was just the camaraderie we had and the perseverance that we showed through the adversity that we had to overcome. We had a early loss against Ole Miss. I think that was really a wake-up call because we didn't play perfect the first 2 games before that, up to that point. And we had a lot of question marks, and the question marks were ultimately kind of solved in the process of losing because it just kind of showed kind of team that we have the capability of becoming if we eliminate mistakes. And it showed throughout the rest of the year that when you play hard, you play tough, you eliminate the simple mistakes that teams are going to make a play. The other teams have scholarship players too, so that you have to expect them to make plays. But when you have self-inflicted wounds, it's kind of hard to overcome those mental lapses. So as the season progressed, continue to get better and better. It was amazing. Quarterback play was amazing. Obviously, Derek was amazing. Receivers were amazing. D-line, O-line, everybody played great. And near the end of the year, we're clicking on all cylinders, and we're able to pull out in the end.
When you hear sports analysts, I don't say I'm one of those guys. I mean, I'm probably a little bit of an Alabama homer, but at times, you lose to Ole Miss. But you look on the national stage, you hear comments after the Ole Miss defeat, the Alabama dynasty, it's over. It's finished. I mean, stick a fork in them. Does that motivate you guys, or did that motivate you to go out and prove them wrong? I mean, can you use the media when they're negative to use it as motivation, or did you guys use it?
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, you have to, they're not going to go out there and play for you, just because they're talking negatively about you, or even vice versa. They're lifting you up. That's not going to help you go out there and win actual games. It's the preparation up to the point, within a week of playing a game and going out there and executing a game plan and to the best of your ability. So, yeah, of course, that was fuel to the fire, but we still had to go out there and play. And all in all, I think it was like kind of it was a weird situation with the Ole Miss loss because, you know, we still had a chance to win that game at the end of the game, and we had 5 turnovers. And, you know, they didn't, and we didn't we didn't get the ball off of them one time. So that was like, it was like a surreal moment to us because we felt like we can beat anybody in the country in that light with having 5 turnovers and still almost having the chance of winning the game because we know there's nobody else in the country that can do that. We feel like we're the only team that can do that. So in that situation, we just knew that if we eliminate the mistakes at all, there would be nobody that could beat us.
We are now talking with Kenyan Drake, national championship running back at the University of Alabama. One of the things that Nick Saban does so well, and I know it's the process, it's the system, but he keeps everybody happy. There's so much talent on this team, whether you talk about running back, you talk about defensive line, at multiple positions, you got 4- and 5-star guys behind them. How does Nick Saban keep the team chemistry together? How does he manage that? How does he keep guys? It's not about individual play; it's about a team play. How does he accomplish that?
He's a very straightforward person, but he's also a very caring person. So he's going to be straightforward with you about, you know, your ability to go out there and, you know, help the team win. You know, you have to first and foremost, you know, have understanding of the game plan and have the ability to go out there and execute on a down-to-down basis. So that's earning his trust is first and foremost. And if you don't have this trust, like, you're not gonna get on the field. That's simple. But he also has the ability to understand that if you're not in the position that you need to be personally, that he will help you every step of the way to get to the person he wants you to be on and off the field, and accommodate your specific, you know, goals as an individual person and player. So he does a great job with that, and I think I can attest to that because there was a lot of ups and downs in my career earlier on that helped me become the person I am today and the player that I wanted to be. And, you know, I thank him for, you know, sticking by me every step of the way to eventually, you know, me, you know, making a play that, you know, I will, you know, remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, what is it, or what have you thought about? You know, your picture is going to be hanging on living rooms throughout the Alabama nation. Just and in even like, you know, the Bryant Museum. I mean, that was a play that really defined that game. I mean, because if you don't make that play, I'm not sure if Alabama wins that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's not for me to say, you know, at all in that situation. But I know for sure I wanted to make an impact on the game. Whether that's, you know, running back, catching the ball out the backfield, special teams, kickoff return, punt, anything, you know, that was my motive. So just having that opportunity to do that, I can only attest that to, you know, the will of God, and, you know, just the patience that, you know, my teammates and Coach Saban had with me and to put me in that situation. And, you know, I'm just glad I made the most out of it.
Kenyan, you were on the field during the onside kick. Walk us through when Nick Saban called that play and you're out there executing that play on the field. Help us understand that moment.
Okay, so, you know, we go out and nobody else has the knowledge prior to that. We just knew that Clemson, you know, was going up and down the field on our defense, you know, and it was kind of hard for them to kind of, you know, they were really bending, so we didn't want that for it to really break. So we knew we had to have some type of momentum swing, and we had been practicing that all the way up throughout this entire season. But really, we focused on it during the championship because we knew, you know, special teams was going to have to make a big play. So Coach Williams, Dr. Williams, you know, he didn't initially call it, but us as players, we was like, you know, Saban, like, we need to, you know, shake things up. We need to go ahead and, you know, do this play because, you know, this is the perfect time, the opportunity to do this. And he was all for it. And Coach Williams, he kind of was going back and forth, and Saban was like, yeah, we need to do this. We feel like we can execute it, you know, and that's all with Saban having the trust, you know, because Saban is very straightforward, and, you know, he's very by the book. So I guess, you know, all in all, that kind of probably caught people out by surprise that, you know, he made that decision, but it was all him. So it was up to us to go out there and execute it. Griff had a perfect kick. Crazy thing is, Marlon had probably dropped that a couple times and practiced up to that point. So I was just telling him, you know, just relax, just if you need to turn around and, you know, go up for the ball, catch it, just catch it as, you know, as cleanly as possible. And I'll be right there beside you because I was right beside him, you know, in formation-wise. I'll be right there beside you if you kind of muff it or whatever. And, you know, he caught it perfectly, and, you know, the rest is history.
So who was the players lobbying Nick Saban to do the onside kick? Was that one of you? Were you part of that?
Yeah, we all were. Everybody that was on that side, even on the opposite side, everybody was like, yeah, we need to go ahead and make this happen right now. Because we knew we knew how the defense was at the time, and, you know, just the moment had a momentum, just kept swinging back and forth. But we weren't in the position to. We weren't like, okay, we're going to keep going blow for blow with Clemson. Like, no, we need to go ahead and take control of this game right now.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Kenyan, you've had a chance to be a part of a very successful run in college football. 4 out of the last 7 national titles. You were part of those national titles, not all of them, but some of them. You ever take it back that you're part of a very special dynasty that we may never see in college football history again?
Yeah, it's really surreal when I think about it, because I grew up, you know, watching the Miamis when I was really young, like in elementary school, and then next came USC, then Florida, and I don't think I'm skipping anybody, but I think that's how the dynasty kind of went. And then now it came to us, and I always wanted to be a part of something greater than myself in that sense. You know, growing up watching those great dynasties come through, and, you know, knowing the legacy behind that, as, you know, as a young kid looking up to, you know, college athletes and being like, you know, I want to be a part of that, and to actually be a part of that, and make something memorable out of, you know, something very special. You know, it's really special to me, and you know, I can really I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Final question. When we look at this upcoming year, there's a lot of leaders that have now departed. Yourself was a huge part of that leadership team at the University of Alabama. Where does Alabama go from here? Because now they've got that bullseye once again on the back of their shoulder pads. They've always got it, but this year it's magnified, winning the national championship. What do you expect from Alabama in about 160-plus days?
I feel like it's the same. Like, my opinion is the same to the freshman. Always yourself, and you know, we always have a lot of talent that leads. We also always have a lot of talent that's coming right under, and it's just about that's our goal as seniors this year was to leave a championship legacy, and it's not like the last 2 years that we didn't, but we didn't finish the way we wanted to finish. And I remember my freshman year, just how I felt about, you know, the guys that were seniors, that when I won my championship my freshman year in 2012, just that legacy of, you know, being a champion and how that felt, and how I wanted to continue that through my college career. And we didn't quite finish the way I wanted to my sophomore and junior year, but we knew as seniors that was our responsibility to, you know, leave that with the freshmen and the juniors or everybody else, so they can have that, you know, taste of, you know, having a legacy to continue on. And I feel like they're going to do fine.
Little tease at quarterback. Who's going to win this job in Tuscaloosa?
I wish I knew. I'm glad I don't have that decision to, you know, I don't have to make a decision, but whoever comes out, they're going to be fine too.
Hey, but you can break down Bo Scarborough. What does Alabama fans expect from him?
I mean, he's going to be pretty much like a carbon copy of Derek. You know, physically the same. Had the same build, have the same similar running style. I mean, you can't forget about Damian Harris. You know, he got playing time last year. You know, he was thrust into the game plan a little earlier when I was hurt, you know, throughout the season. But he's going to definitely come along just fine too.
Hey, Kenyan, thank you so much for what you mean to the University of Alabama family. I've enjoyed the interview, and if I can ever help you out, you've got an outlet here in Tuscaloosa. You know, if we can ever promote anything with anything you've got going on, I greatly appreciate the time. Best of luck to you. We're all pulling for you here in Tuscaloosa. Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us here on the game.
All right, thank you. Roll Tide.